What's up, boys? Welcome back to another Clash Royale video. Today we're going to be reviewing the April update, and just as like a side note, I've already watched this video. This video that I'm making now is just going to be me essentially slicing parts up, giving my opinion on things, so we have a discussion about it. And yeah, overall I'm like actually really happy with this update. I don't have to moan this time, which is really weird for me. I get to sit here and be happy and like, yes, good changes. So yeah, just before I start this, obviously leave your opinions in the comments down below. I replied to all of them, and it's, you know, the reason I'm doing this video is to get everyone's opinion on the update, because personally I think it's one of the best we've had, like, maybe in the past 2 years or so. Maybe that's like too much, and I don't remember dates, but definitely the past year. And of course, if you're new to the channel and all that, be sure to subscribe and whatever else you have to do. I mean, it helps out. God, I hate doing this promo so much, but I have to. But yeah, with all that out of the way, enjoy the video.
Welcome to Trophy Road. This is the new progression system for ladder play in Clash Royale.
What we've done here is you still have the arenas where you unlock cards along the way. Instead of waiting until 300 trophies to get better chests and more rewards, you're going to pick up these rewards along the way and still be rewarded when you hit a new arena.
Okay, so instantly I'm like a massive fan of this change. Ladder has always been like not difficult to progress, but just tedious to progress. All you do is just play the same game mode over and over. You unlock your silver chests, you get a few cards, you upgrade like once a month, and then maybe you move up a few trophies. But with this, you're getting more rewards for actually pushing trophies. It also just gives more incentive to the game. Like if I look at ladder right now, I don't really want to push because there's no reason for me to, right? I'm already at 4K, I've done everything there is to do in the game. If I just push up, I'm going to get a better draft chest, maybe some better cards, but all that's going to actually do for me is move me higher up on ladder. But I've already explained why I don't want to play ladder, because it's just boring and I'm just getting better draft chests. So this actually adds incentive. You're going to see in a minute how like it happens at 4K, but for newer players this is automatically better because they're like, oh, if I play a little bit more, I might get, you know, a goblin barrel or a hunter, etc. And it's just a reason to play ladder, and that's always a good thing. Also, obviously, it just helps out the free play players, which is always good.
Early on, though, you'll get to pick between the cards in the arena that you're in.
Yeah.
When you start off with level 1 commons, being able to jump right away to level 3 allows you to build a deck that you'd like to build with the cards you want.
Yeah.
So letting players like choose which cards they want is obviously a good thing, right? It's autonomy. It, you know, it helps the player be like, oh, I want to do this, I'm gonna do this, opposed to just having random cards that you have to have. But also it depends on how many cards you're actually getting, because in this clip right here that you can see on screen, there's Royal Giants and Royal Recruits, but if that's only like 5 of them, then whatever, right? It's a common card, 5's not going to do anything. But if that's like 5,000 of them, which obviously it won't be, but I've got to be exaggeratory. That's not a word. I just made that up. But you get my point, right? If it's like a billion of them, it's a bad thing, because people just go, alright, I will just request Royal Giants, I will accept Royal Giants when I get the option to, and I will just level up to level 13 even though I'm only in Arena 7. But also, if it's only like 5, it's pretty bad because there's no point. Like, who cares? No one's going to push the extra 50 trophies to get, you know, 5 Royal Giant cards because it's a common and it won't do anything. So in this video, they haven't actually shown how many of whatever we're going to be getting at each stage. Obviously, they don't have to. We're going to see when the update comes out, but I just hope they've balanced it really well, because I really like this feature and don't want it to be ruined by over-leveling or literally just not mattering. Also, very interesting thing to note here, they've actually blurred out, it looks like a card, it looks sort of blue. We already know that the earthquake spell is a thing, but I don't know what that is, and it's just sort of interesting that they've already put stuff into the game. I guess it's on the dev build, so they just add in whatever they're doing. Maybe it's not even a thing, right? Maybe it's just something that they've been testing with and don't want people to be like, oh, that's coming to the game. But just interesting to note they've blurred something there.
Players who make it all the way to 4,000 trophies will get multiple guaranteed legendaries, including a legendary king's chest right before you hit 4,000 trophies.
Yeah.
Okay, so that there is like real good addition, because what I hate about a lot of these updates is that they come out and you're like, okay, but I'm not really just going to play this for 2,000 gold, am I? They've put Legendary King's Chest in, like, the actual progression up to 4K, which is, I mean, it's only one that we've seen so far. But still, that's pretty good. I saw down below, I think around Arena 7, you get a Legendary chest, which is amazing, because not all players that have reached even, like, Arena 9 right now have a Legendary. But all players now will get a Legendary upon reaching, I think it's Arena 7, don't quote me on it, though. And then this one's obviously also good, because you get to pick which Legendary you want, and you also get a ton of other cards and gold with it as well. So I'm really happy that they've actually put actual good rewards in there.
But that's not all. We heard that you like the chest speed up boost, so every single time you reach a new arena or league, you will receive a 24-hour chest speed up boost, and these can stack. So if you are just bursting through the early arenas or at the start of a season, just moving your way back up to where you were, you will keep collecting and stacking up these chest speed-up boosts, making ladder even more lucrative.
Okay, so obviously another really good thing there, it sort of makes a lot more sense when you think about it, because when you reach an arena, you sort of aim to reach that arena. So you go, okay, I'm going to reach arena 8 today, and you're going to push up to arena 8, and then you're going to stop playing. But by adding a 24-hour very limited chest boost, some players will go, I really need to use this chest boost. So instead of just sitting at their trophies, they will go push higher because they have a chest boost. And it just means that more people are playing the game, right? It means more games are being had, and that's always great because more activity in a game means it's more alive, and that's what we want. I wonder if it only applies to like new chests that you get. So like when you win a battle, will you get a pink silver chest, which is only 90 minutes, or will all of your chest slots just be halved? Because if it's a case of all of your chests being boosted, then I can totally see people getting like a really good chest from ladder, pushing to another arena, then unlocking it. And again, it means more people are playing, which is good.
So trophy floors, which is maybe a name that is pending, no, but we like it, so we might keep it. Each arena that you reach will be your new trophy floor, and you cannot drop below those trophies.
So again, this sort of feeds into what I said earlier about people will reach an arena, they just won't play because they have no need to, but now they can't fall out of the arena, and they have a chest boost. So it's a lot more, you know, arenas aren't like this stone wall, you hit it and you stop. They're now just sort of go on to the next thing. Like the small little ladder rewards where, you know, you got 50 trophies, you get a new reward. With the chest boost and now knowing that you can't fall below the arena, it means that people are going to stop getting to Arena 7, stop playing the game, and then, you know, push up when they have higher card levels. Instead, they're going to be incentivized to actually push up little by little, and I like that. That's a huge thing for ladder. Like when I did my free-to-play series, I got to an arena, I stopped playing, and that was the episode done, right? We did an arena every episode, but now it sort of makes sense to actually play in between the arenas instead of just, you know, going one arena, one arena, one arena, one arena.
Also, each time the season resets, you can claim these rewards again.
So that is very important to know. I actually missed this the first time I watched it, but you can actually get the rewards every month, and I don't know how I feel about it, because I like it because, of course, it's repeatable. You have something to aim for every month, but also I don't like it because you look on screen, you see the tiniest bit of gold, you see one common token, you see a lightning chest, and that's, you know, within 300 trophies. So I like it because you're getting more rewards, but I dislike it because it means they have to tone them down and it's not really much to play for. Like, I'm not going to sit there and say, I want to push 75 trophies so I can get a common token, right? It's not that important to me. The lightning chest I can maybe see, and obviously as you go higher, it's going to be more and more, but at the same time, I don't know, maybe that's just me. Maybe I just always want more. Maybe that's a problem with me and not the game. Okay, so I've just paused it here because it's very important to my last clip, but there's one common token there for, what's that, 6,150 trophies? I don't think these rewards are actually the ones that we're going to get in-game, which I'm sort of sad about because I saw some really good chests down below, but I guess it's good, because, actually, I guess it's really good, because now they have the potential to change it every season. I don't know if they'll do that, but yeah, I'm sort of glad that one common token, like, isn't going to be a thing, or hopefully, it might stay the same, but I'm hoping it's all going to be different, and, you know, I'm going to judge it when it comes out.
And if you're sitting there worried, wait, I'm already at 4,000 trophies, will I get the trophy road rewards? Of course.
So that's like really exciting. It's only a one-time thing, obviously, but I'm going to be able to open all of these rewards as soon as I open the game on update day. I think I might like stream that or something, but that's going to be, you know, it's going to be exciting. It's just one of those small things where the update comes out and you're like, whoa, I want to get on so I can do all of this. But yeah, I guess it's just nice of them.
Important note though, the season draft chest is going away. So the draft chest that you received at the end of the season will no longer be there.
I'm sort of okay with the draft chest going, because the draft chest was sort of like, it was a one-time thing you got for a month of playing the game. I sort of like the new system better because you get rewarded as you play, or I assume so. Like, they could actually delay it to the end of the month, which would be really lame, but I assume you get them as soon as you hit them. And that's just a more fun system to actually play in than to play for a month to get one chest and then to do it all over again. It gets really repetitive, and hitting new rewards every like 75 trophies is actually really exciting. I'm hoping they do actually change these rewards every month, as I sort of said before. They never said anything about that in this, but it looks like they have the potential to. But that'd be fun to just judge if you want to push those extra trophies every season, opposed to just having the same thing to do every season, because that's what we do now and it gets sort of boring.
We have a brand new game mode coming to Clash Royale. It's going to be called Elixir Rush. This is a new game mode, and Seth will tell you all about it.
We have been experimenting with more ways for players to get Elixir advantages on their opponent. We think that's some of the most fun moments of Clash Royale, when you feel like you've got an advantage and you can just push your way to victory. 2 new mechanics will be in the Elixir Rush game mode. First off, there's going to be Elixir droplets on the bridge. The first troop to walk over that Elixir droplet will collect it for that player. They appear on the bridge every 30 seconds or so, so you need to consistently be controlling the middle in order to get those Elixir droplets. It's going to make it a lot harder for players to be defensive because you're missing out on this Elixir advantage by not being aggressive at the bridge.
Okay, so something I want to preface with all of these game modes is that they all have the potential to be game-changing, but they also all have the potential to be touchdown. And what I mean by that is if they're in the game permanently and there's things you can do with them and maybe obtain rewards, not even that, you can just play them all the time, then the game, it changes, right? You have new things to actually do within the game, and that's exactly what we need. However, if they're limited time events and we get them, once every 2 months, it means nothing. And I say that with the absolute best interest in heart. I really want these game modes to just be permanent, and that goes for all of them. Draft, Double Elixir, Sudden Death, these new ones, I would love for them all to be in a permanent separate mode, where essentially you enter for free, you get a random opponent, there's no rewards on the line, but you can just play for fun with all of the modes. And that's maybe what the game needs. The game maybe needs to stop being, oh, am I getting rewarded for this? And it needs to be, oh, I'm having fun doing this. But yeah, they haven't said, how any of these game modes are going to work in terms of when you can actually play them, but I'm hoping that they're permanent, if not semi-permanent. I'm hoping it's not just another touchdown where we get it, 4 times and it goes away for a year and nobody actually cares about it. As for the actual mechanics of this mode, I'm a big fan. I think it's a really cool concept. I think, controlling the bridge is really important because it does encourage players to be offensive. However, I don't really know if 1 Elixir is going to be enough of an incentive to go and be aggressive. Like, for example, if I put a hog at the river, I'm going to spend 4, get 1 back. Yeah, I get that hog for free Elixir, but if my opponent just counters it with a tornado, then whatever, it's just an even trade. But also saying that they couldn't actually make it anymore because 2 Elixir would just be insane. So I guess they've done the right thing. However, I don't know if it's actually going to have the intended effect, but we'll see. And I'm really excited to play loads of new game modes because it's a new meta, it's new mechanics, it's just fun. As for the big Elixir collector in the middle, the only problem I have with it is that maybe troop targeting might be dodgy. Like if I put something at the river to, kite an opponent troop and instead it just goes to attack the collector, it's not really what I wanted, and it's going to change a load of mechanics. But
we have another new game mode coming. It's going to be called Mega Deck, letting you build a deck that has 18 cards.
We found that players wanted to use a wider selection of cards, so we started testing with bigger and bigger decks, 10, 12, 16, and settled on 18 cards for a mega deck. It's a lot of fun to play because you can't rely on the right card at the exact right moment, so you need to know how to use a wide range of cards in a lot of different situations.
You can't really do like, okay, cool, I've just used my hog, time to cycle back through 17 cards. So you got to think a lot more about your deck building skills and what your opponent is playing, because you can't just simply guess what cards they're using. There's not certain archetypes to follow right now, which I'm sure there will be after a while.
There will be in the future.
Yeah, which is
That's
really
for
cool.
you to figure out.
okay, so I'm a massive fan of this game mode as well. The only concern I maybe have is that it takes out a little bit of skill in counting cards because you're not going to be able to track, 18 cards? That's impossible. I like it as a concept though. I like that they've gone, okay, we're trying to make decks bigger so the meta changes, because right now the meta is really restrictive in how cards work. And this is like maybe a deeper theory that I haven't actually gone into too much, but essentially cards have roles, and when those roles hard counter another role, it turns into a game mode where hard counters become a thing. I don't personally believe in hard counters, but it's a big thing within the community. And let me just define what I mean by that. So, for example, miner is countered by mini tanks, right? If you put a miner on the tower, they defend with a knight, a Valkyrie, a mini P.E.K.K.A. These small mini tank units, your miner gets hard countered. So if a deck role becomes to have a mini tank in every deck, then miner's a little bit screwed because it's just going to keep getting countered over and over by those mini tanks as long as there's no, variation in how mini tanks work. And an example of a variation in how mini tanks work would be Ice Golem, because the Ice Golem doesn't attack back. It sort of counters miner, but not as well as, Knight, Valkyrie, mini P.E.K.K.A. And where I'm going with this is that it's good in 18 card mode, because essentially in a normal game you will always match your mini tank up with your opponent's miner, right? They send in a miner, you play a mini tank, you both play 4 more cards, they send in a miner, you play the mini tank. But in 18 card mode you can't really do that because they're not tracking your cycle and you're not tracking their cycle. So really it jumbles everything up, but in a good way, because no longer can you just save cards and just have everything countered. You need to always be thinking, like, okay, if they do this, how am I going to counter this in this moment without having to cycle round 17 cards, as Drew conveniently said. And that was also a shot at 2.6 players, so I'd watch out, they're probably going to nerf that. Or not. Maybe Drew isn't anything to do with balancing, I have no idea.
We have a new Dragon Egg mode. Working title, by the way. That's a terrible name. In this mode, players will fight to control an egg in the middle of the arena.
Both players can attack it. The first player to destroy it gets a random dragon right out of the egg in the middle on their side. It's extra good if you can spawn the Inferno Dragon and they don't have an answer for it. Burn down the tower all by himself.
Okay, so Dragon Hunt is the one I'm like least a fan of, just because it's RNG, right? The dragons are randoms. You never know what you're going to get out of that. I would prefer if either they put a little symbol on top of the egg to show you which dragon is available, so then you know what you're actually fighting for, or if there's potentially a new unit which was like a neutral dragon. So it was a new card, it was just a dragon, and I don't know what it would do. Maybe it'd do like single target shots that were pretty quick, or just something, just not a baby dragon, electro dragon, or inferno dragon, because that's really, really niche to just do that. And I feel like if you had a game mode centered around this one unit, that'd be really cool. So for my Brawl Stars viewers, I'm sort of referencing the siege robots, right? You build this one robot, and you know what you're gonna get, right? It's the same thing every time. What I dislike about this is that maybe you'll get an Electro Dragon, maybe you'll get an Inferno Dragon. It's not consistent. Okay, so here's my example, right? If your opponent has their egg real low, but you're fighting it with a minion horde, and they're only fighting it with, let's say, like, a knight. If they then spawn an Inferno Dragon, your minion horde is going to kill their Inferno Dragon and their knight. But if they manage to spawn a baby dragon, then most of your horde will die, and it's totally different to if they spawned an Inferno Dragon. What I dislike about it is that it's random. I would prefer if either it was in cycle, so it went, you know, Electro, Inferno, Baby, and it cycled around like that, and you always knew what was going to come out of it. If it was random and they put a little icon on it, so for example it just shows a little Electro Dragon in a card and you know what you're fighting for, or if it was just one of the dragons, so maybe at the start of the game it comes up and says you're fighting for Electro Dragon, or you're fighting for Baby Dragon, or something like that, or potentially having a new unit that spawns from it and is just a neutral dragon that we haven't seen before and isn't available anywhere else.
If you thought we were done releasing new cards, you're wrong. A new card is coming out with this April update, and it's a spell that might be familiar to Clash of Clans players.
It is called Earthquake.
3 cost, rare, in between your zaps and logs, cheaper than your fireballs and poisons. It's specifically meant to be a counter to ground troops and buildings. It won't even affect air troops because, hey, they're flying above the earthquake.
Troops will get slowed and damaged. But when it hits a building, Earthquake really comes into its own and does 400% of the damage that it does to a troop. So yeah, you can really use this to like take out stuff like furnaces and like barb huts.
Elixir collector decks are going to be on shaky ground against Earthquake because it deals almost all of the damage to an Elixir collector, only allowing a very little bit of Elixir to be pumped. Great count.
Okay, so we need to talk about Earthquake. I don't know how I feel about this one. Mainly it just counters buildings, and my only problem with that is that it's free Elixir. Now, here's the thing. As a concept, that is fine, but when it's just this card that does it, it's not fine, because I feel like they've added this so they can buff certain buildings, but then all that happens is that everybody runs Earthquake and it becomes the most broken card in the game. When you add a card like this, it needs alternatives, because otherwise its usage rate is just going to peak if you happen to just buff buildings. So if the meta becomes, you know, Expo Pump Tesla is the top meta deck, maybe even if Earthquake is like the worst card in the game, people might use it because it will counter Tesla, it will counter Expo, it will counter Elixir Collector. Even if it's not very good, it has that one role and it just reminds me of Heal. Heal, not very good in general, but the only reason it became meta was because it countered Poison. It would lose every other matchup, but as soon as it faced Poison, instant win, and I feel like that's gonna be Earthquake. Earthquake gonna be trash if your opponent has no buildings, but if your opponent has 3 buildings, you win that game automatically, and I dislike this because there's no alternatives to it. It's not a function in the game already, so if people want to run building counters, they have to run Earthquake. They don't have Earthquake or another spell, and it just means that Earthquake is either going to be 0% used or like 100% used, and I don't like that because it's probably going to go bad.
We've got 4 new star levels coming to the game.
Knight, Goblin Hut, Balloon gets a tier 3, but the big one is Rocket. Rocket's my favorite.
Yeah, Rocket is my favorite one as well.
We've got the Goblin just riding the rocket the whole way down as it
Don't
lands.
ever do that again. That is disgusting.
It's a cinema classic, Drew.
Alright, so really I have no comment on this one. Star points... Star points are star points, and that's all I really need to say about them. I've been max level for ages now, and I still don't have a single star, whatever they're called, a star skin. I don't know, I don't have one, and that's my point. They're adding more, it's cool, it only affects 0.00001% of players, and really I just feel like that update was not, it just wasn't a thing. Like, cool, you spend ages, you get a little bit of gold on your card, and that's it. It's cool, I guess, but it takes too long, it's not worth the reward, and adding it in is like an update note. I'm just sort of like, whatever. But we'll move on. It's not a negative thing, which is good, right? They haven't ruined the game by adding it, but I'm sort of just like, no comment.
We've heard that you want to know which emotes are exclusive. Starting with this update, emotes that are only earned through challenges and other exclusive prizes, emotes that never appear in the shop, will have a nice little legendary glow around them, so you can just, you know, show off your accomplishments a little bit.
So this overall is a good thing. I'm a fan of this. If you've got an exclusive emote, then congrats to you. You now have a little legendary thing around it, and that's cool. Again, it's just like, it's a minor change, but it's a positive.
All you esports fans out there, as you know, Clash Royale League is returning, and to make it easier for you guys to keep up to date with the matches, we've got a new live flashing indicator thing in the main menu, as you can see.
Okay, so again, this is like a really good small thing that they've added. CRL viewership, the higher the better, essentially, because the more people interested in esports, more people interested in content, the more people invested in the game, and that's good. You know, the more ways you can tie people into the game is good. If you get people regularly watching the CRL tournaments, then they're going to be more regularly playing your game, and then, you know, it's good for the game, it's healthy. So I'm a fan that they're pushing this, a fan that they're advertising it in-game, because just to note, if you look on this YouTube video itself, this has 2.9 million views. This hasn't been up 24 hours yet. It almost has 3 million views, which is, that's huge. This game is like, there are so many people that actually play this game, but so little that translate into CRL, into YouTube content, into anything outside of the game itself. So anything they do to be like, hey, check this out, it's about the game, you might enjoy it, is good. And that goes, you know, for CRL, that goes for creator spotlights, that goes for anything. More ties that you get people in with your game, the healthier the game's going to be. And I'm glad they've done this, it's a good start. There are just like a few more things I want to note here. So firstly, the quest thing has changed. You can now actually see on the home screen, like all of your quests and stuff. All of the side buttons are gone. So that's your TV Royale, that's your news tab, I think. And I don't know where they've gone. Maybe they're in the little free line bit, but maybe they've gone somewhere. That's the important bit. It's UI change. Also, on your arena, you can see a little trophy thing. That might be until your next, like, league or your next arena, but it also might be your next little trophy road thing, so that's a cool addition. And yeah, I assume there's a lot more on other screens, but we don't have those other screens, so I can't really tell you about them, but it's nice when the UI changes. It makes it feel fresh. But yeah, really, that's all for this update video. That was good, right? The thing I love most about this is that that video was almost 10 minutes long.
You should have made it like over 10 minutes. You could mid-roll and like make more money, but you know, I'm the YouTube expert.
And the reason that's like such a big thing is because the previous ones have been like maybe 3 minutes long, and when they add so much more stuff, it's so much more hype around the update, and that's maybe why it got 3 million views and is currently trending on gaming, apparently. I didn't even see that. Overall, big fan. I like the trophy road thing. I like all the new game modes. I like that there's a new card coming with it. That's fun. They've also recently done the thing where there's a new challenging game every 2 days, so these are good things. They're actually making changes, and it makes me feel positive about the game. Recently, I've been feeling sort of like, do I want to stick with Royale? But this update, a few other things, you know, like outside of the game, it's like, yeah, they're doing things, and I'm proud, and like, I don't know why. I'm just hoping it's not like too late for this game to still be as big as it can be. It can be a huge game. I'm just hoping it's not too late to be adding all of these new changes and things, and hopefully it continues. Hopefully this isn't just a one-off. Hopefully this is what we get every 3 months, every 4 months. I don't care how long it takes, just give me big updates. Don't give me these small things where you're like, oh, we're adding star points and you can maybe get one skin every year. That's depression. But yeah, I'm actually happy. If you take that as moaning, that's not me moaning, that's me saying things have been bad, things are now good, and I have to reference the bad to tell you how good the good things are. But yeah, again, let me know what you thought about this down below. I hope you enjoyed this type of video. It's sort of new. I'm spending like an entire day making this because I could have just easily, you know, been here and easily done one yesterday, but I didn't want to do that. I wanted to take today to actually have actual thoughts on it and put it out to you, and hopefully you enjoyed this video. But yeah, thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe and all that if you did enjoy this video, and peace.